Hi there, welcome back to BitFocus. As you have learned about models in our previous session, so if you have any questions or suggestions, please feel free to put comments in our channel. Today in this session, we will learn something new, that is file handling. What is file handling? As file handling is very important in any programming language, but here in Python, so file handling is an important part of any web application. I mean, you should learn this because file handling is very essential and it is very helpful when you want to work with files. What is file handling? File handling is nothing but these four actions: creating a file, creating files with coding, so reading files, updating files, and deleting files. These four actions. For example, you want to create a new file, or you want to read a file, or you want to edit a file, or delete a file. These four actions are file handling or working with files. But in Python, please remember there is a key function that is open. This key function, when we say key function, so it is very important. It is used a lot when we want to work with files. This function, this open function, has two parameters. The first parameter is the name of the file. You want to create a file, so you should put a name for your file, or what is the name of the file, so you put here. And the second is mode. What is mode? Mode is R for reading. When you want to read a file, so you put R here in this function. And A is for append. When you want to add some new content with the previous added content, so it is append. And when you want to write into a file, W is used. X is for creating. But there are two other modes, that is text, and T is for text when you want to work with text files, and B is binary when you want to work with images like that. So please remember that R for reading file, R and T, these two modes are default modes. I mean, they are already existing. If you do not add, no matters, no problem, because they are coming already. So now we want to have some examples and create a new Python file. It is Python file, not the file we talk about. For example, we handling file. So it is our Python file. We want to code to work with file. Okay, now we want to add a new file or create a new file. So creating a file. First we should create a function, def the name of this function, create file. It is optional, you can rename it. If it is a variable, and open, as I have already talked about it, that open function is a key function. We want to create a new file. So what should be the name of this file? File1.txt, because it is a text file. As I have talked, there are some modes. For example, R for read, X for creating a file. So T means text file. It is default. It is a default mode. We do not need to add it, but X is required here. X means we want to create a new file. Okay, now we want to call our function. If we run this file, I mean this handling file.py, we will see an empty file. How? We should run it. You see our file is created here. If I open it, it is blank. Okay, now we have created our file. We put it into command, and now we want to work with writing file. Writing a file. A function, we create a new function, write file. Again we use the key function that is open, and we want to write the name of the file. But please remember, if the file is not already existing, it will create a new file again, because we have another file we have already created. So I put that here, file1.txt, and we should put the mode, it is W for writing. What should we write here? So there is a function for that, right? This is some text, it is the content, and now we should call our function to see the result. So run the project. You see this is some text, it is the content we have written here in this file. Okay, and now we should now we want to have another example for reading. We want to read the content of a file. So reading a file, again we create another function, the third function, that is read file. Okay, if open, now it is very easy, you know. Okay, and we want to read the content of that file we have already written, file1.txt. but please remember, if this is not existing for reading, it will give you error. So for example, I should test it. We want to read this file, but you see this file is not existing. Print, because we want to see the content. f.read, we want to call our function. You see it has given an error here. Why? Because that file is not existing, but we want to read this file because it is existing. You see there is some text. It has got also a parameter. So 2 means please show me, I want to read 2 characters here. You see that, because it is 2 characters. Or we want to read 8 characters here. You see this is, it is 8 characters. And there is also another function for reading read line. Read lines means we want to read one line. It has already one line, but if it has more than one lines, it will read the first line. Read line. Here you see no difference because it has got one line, already one line. But if it has more than one line, so it will read the first line. Okay, it is for reading line. But now we want to append. Append means add some new text at the end of the already added content. So how? Appending a file, def append file. If open, again this function is essential. So file1.txt, file1. But please remember, if this file is not existing, so it will create a new file with this name. Append. For append we use a mode. f.write some new text appended here. This text is appended here. So now we should call this function. Now if we open this file, you see some text is appended here. Some new text appended here. So this text is appended. Okay, this is for appending. That's all about file handling. I hope you have understood. If you have any questions or suggestions, please put comments, and please try not to forget to subscribe into our channel to get benefit from our new tutorials. Thank you.